What if I told you that the most anticipated boxing showdown of the decade might be happening thousands of miles away from where it should be? Picture this: Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, two of the sport's most charismatic heavyweights, locked in a ring. But instead of the roaring crowds of London or Manchester, imagine the neon lights of Madison Square Garden. Now, ask yourself, why would a British promoter like Eddie Hearn be fighting to keep this event in the UK when everyone else seems to want it in America? Let me break this down for you. Here's the thing: Hearn isn't just some guy with a clipboard. He's the man who's been tirelessly pushing this fight for years, convincing Fury and Joshua to make it happen. And yet, when push comes to shove, the powers that be, Netflix, Turkey Al-Sheikh, the big money players, are all whispering, New York. Madison Square Garden. That's where the dollars are. But here's what bugs me: is this really about money, or is it about control? Because let's face it, the UK has a rabid boxing fan base. You don't need a stadium full of 20,000 people to sell out a fight in London. You need passion. And passion doesn't pay the bills, right? Or does it? Wait, what if the real issue isn't where the fight happens, but who gets to define its legacy? Hearn's frustration isn't just about location, it's about narrative ownership. He wants this to be a British story, not a global spectacle. But here's the kicker: in today's sports world, the global spectacle often wins. And that's where the tension lies. Let's dig deeper. Hearn's argument is simple: we signed this fight in the UK. We're desperate to deliver it for UK fans. But the reality is, when you sign a contract with partners like Netflix, you're not just signing a venue, you're signing a deal that prioritizes viewership numbers over local pride. And honestly, I get it. If you're a promoter, you have to balance the interests of your fans with the interests of your investors. But what this situation reveals is a bigger problem: the erosion of regional identity in global sports. Is the UK still a viable market for big fights, or has the allure of American audiences become too strong to resist? I mean, think about it. How many times have we seen European events get moved to the US because that's where the money is? It's not just boxing. It's football, it's tennis, it's everything. And yet, when you move a fight out of its home country, you risk alienating the very fans who built the sport's foundation. But here's what I find fascinating: Hearn isn't just fighting for a venue. He's fighting for a principle. He's saying, this is our fight. This is our story. And we deserve to tell it on our terms. And that's not just about pride, it's about respect. When you're a promoter who's spent years building hype for a matchup, only to have it taken away by people who didn't even have to sign the contract, it's a slap in the face. And yet, he's also smart enough to know that he can't just walk away. Because the alternative is no fight at all. So he's in this awkward middle ground, trying to negotiate while keeping his integrity intact. It's like being a parent who wants to take their kid to a park, but the school board insists on a field trip to a theme park. You're stuck choosing between what's best for the child and what's easiest for the system. And let's not forget the elephant in the room: the UK boxing scene is thriving. Fury's dominance, Joshua's legacy, the sheer energy of British fans, it's a goldmine. But the problem is, the people with the deepest pockets aren't in the UK. They're in Hollywood, in Silicon Valley, in New York. And they're not just interested in the fight, they're interested in the brand. So when they say, Madison Square Garden is where this fight needs to be, they're not just talking about the arena. They're talking about the global audience, the streaming rights, the merchandise sales. It's a different game now. And Hearn, for all his passion, is playing by the rules of a system that doesn't always reward loyalty. But here's the question: if the fight ends up in America, will it still feel like a British event? Or will it just be another big-name showdown in a city that's seen it all before? Because that's the real tragedy here. Not the venue. Not the money. But the loss of a story that could have been uniquely ours.